Hello and welcome to Midnight Threads. It is actually midnight. But if you're anything like me, you stay up at night, usually around midnight, and scroll Reddit. The Reddit threads, the Reddit lords, if you will. I wanted to read some of my favorite titles that I've come across. So I don't know if the stories are actually duds, but the titles sounds enticing. And for this episode, we will be doing more like family relationships. I feel like most of the threads I read is about family and relationships anyway, so maybe that's a theme in general. We are crawling a few Reddit threads. What we're gonna do while we are perusing these threads and reacting to some of these stories, I will be eating, I think this is a self-heating hot pot. Per the instructions, looks like it is self-heating. It is big in China, obviously. My sister is eating the tomato soup version. And basically they have these little pouches at the bottom that is water activated, and then they just like steam up for like 15 minutes. So to get started, we have to set the mood. And this is, I don't really like the smell of this candle per se, but I love the little snake. It's adorable and it's right up my alley. So we're gonna light this up to set the mood, if you will. Oh, I can smell it. I haven't trimmed the wick yet. This is a brand new wick.
You snuffed up that one first because that was further away.
It's taking longer to light up the candle than I thought. But we're setting the mood. This is a vibe. This is get cozy. It's midnight threads. It's cozy. We keep it friendly cozy here. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it is midnight and because I should be sleeping, I do have a teacup here. It's kind of gross because I already used this tea bag.
Don't say that.
Anyways, I have some magnesium powder here, so I'm just gonna make my tea with magnesium because supposedly that helps you sleep or something like that. I don't know, my dietitian told me I should take it, and it should be glycinate. I also have my other beverage of choice here, which is water. I can't read Chinese, even though I am half Chinese. Here are the instructions. It's basically add water and then like add water. Let's rip into here. See, it has a little vent. Oh, also, I know my nails are in bad condition. And it's not something that people really care about, but I care about it. It does come with utensils for you. In this case, a spoon. I might use a spoon, but I have my own chopsticks. This is how that looks. We got the vegetables, we got the sauce, we got the noodles. We have, I don't know what this is. There's no pictures. So here's the chopsticks. And then here's the self-heating component. So it's like this little pouch. And I've been obsessed with these. Why? There's no difference from me just boiling my own water from my kettle and letting it steam up, but I like these. So you drop this in, and this is where you put the food. Then we're gonna add water to this, put this on top, and then put the food in.
I'm gonna say, were you able to open everything by hand instead of using a scissors?
So far, yes.
They're so strong.
I know. So strong and talented. I think I just add everything in.
Yes, you add everything in.
But then do I need water? I don't think I need water.
You do. You need water to align.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you? These chopsticks sucks. And she got chopsticks for herself.
I got chopsticks for myself, but I got these. These aren't bad. This is just like, it's wood. So if you need that, you can use that.
Oh, I'll use the wood one then.
Okay. I feel like I should move a little faster.
One eternity later.
This is how that looks like, and obviously this is how that looks like. I don't know if you can actually see it. I will add water to the line, and just regular water.
Are you supposed to put hot water on yours?
I know.
I would recommend putting that in first.
Yeah, you should but I'm a pro, you know what I mean? So, you don't have to put hot water up here, I don't know, I feel like it cooks it faster. And we close, and then it will cook. super excited. Anyways, while it's doing that, I'm gonna take my notebook, which is my laptop. While this is steaming up, I'm actually gonna move some of these stuff around. Because when I first placed it, I wasn't thinking, like, what made sense. It's what doesn't kill me make me stronger, honestly. So
This room was cleaned
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
So I know this is common, well, or maybe it's common for me in my algorithm because, oh my god, that's steam. You can't see it, but that's steam. What was I saying? Okay, so maybe it's my algorithm because I watch a lot of people reacting to like, am I the whole thread? I don't want to do that because I feel like a lot of that content is online anyways. A lot of the Reddit contents are online anyways, but this is one story because I thought the title was interesting, which is, am I the a-hole? What just happened to my hair?
What did you
Am I the a-hole for not wanting to drop charges on a 10-year-old kid? Am I the a-hole for not wanting to drop charges on a kid that beat up my 9-year-old at school? Some background. My kids go to a school where over 90% of the student population are refugees/immigrants. We live in a neighborhood that is the same circumstances as my kids' school. Cut to yesterday, my 9-year-old girl was out at recess. Recess? I don't know. Is that a southern?
I think that's southern.
Recess? I was born and raised in Virginia, which, like, I guess it is southern. But it's like middle. I don't know. She was playing basketball with friends. This bully walked up behind her, pushed her to the ground, and when she was getting up, the kid kicked her in the head like it was a soccer ball. My wife went down to check my girl out of school. She'll be okay, I hope, but she has scratches on the side of her face, a black eye, and it's swollen. School principal said he'd handle it. Later on, he called my wife and I separately and asked us to drop the charges because the student doesn't understand that what they did was wrong. I told the principal that if the school isn't going to discipline the bully, I will call the police department and file charges. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to drop charges on a 10-year-old kid? Immediate thoughts is a black eye is kind of painful. I had one once in my life. It wasn't because of a bully. It was because I was doing I slammed my face on a pole. I was doing a showcase for Lyra and I slammed my face. So it was very painful, much less for a 9-year-old girl. And for me, it's like, you need to teach your kids, and part of it is teaching them to not kick someone's head like a soccer ball, because that's how you create murderers and serial killers.
How about the kids' parents? Are they in communication?
Oh yeah, there's no context for that. But not only that, like, you still have to teach the kid. This one comment says, we learn to understand through the consequences of our actions. This child needs to be taught that this behavior is wrong for his good and for the good of everyone around him. Also, he could have your daughter, which facts, because brain trauma is no joke. The head is very fragile, so
I'm surprised it's just a black eye and what is
some scratches, a black eye, and like a swollen, like her face. Obviously, her black eye.
You never know about brain
Also,
trauma.
if she got a black eye, he kicked her like in the front of her face, not even like the back of her. You know, like he could have broken some bones.
I would say don't drop the charges.
I would say no, you're not. So in this situation, because it's true. I mean, what the person who commented said, like, they do need to be taught, like, he needs to face some consequences. I've seen a lot of stories where kids they're just like, oh, boys will be boys, or like, oh, they're just a kid, they don't understand. But the fact that they get away with it, they grow up thinking that they can get away with these actions. And like, the world is already
Messed up.
Yeah. It's already messed up as is, so we have to teach our children young that, like, this isn't right. Some other people said, like, yes, I'd be tempted to drop charges if the bully simply pushed her in the middle of a flat playground and she fell down. Schools have discipline policies for run-of-the-mill bullying like that. When someone does something seriously dangerous, like pushing another kid off a slide, kicking them in the head, etc., that goes beyond typical playground bullying and deserves some oversight by the juvenile legal system. But this other commenter was like, if this little truly doesn't understand that what they did was wrong. They need to be institutionalized as they are a danger to others, which again is true.
But also, like, did he not know that it's still not okay to push someone?
First of all, you shouldn't be bullying anyone, and you shouldn't be pushing anyone down. You shouldn't be physically harming anyone in general, and that you should definitely be taught at a young age that, like, don't touch people unless asked. You know what I mean? Like, just yeah,
without consent.
Yeah, don't touch people without consent. A lot of grown-ups like to be like, oh my god, this kid is so dramatic, she acts like it's the end of the world. I'm like, well, she's 9, Betty. Like, it is the end of the world to her. Like, she hasn't experienced anything worse. And you don't want her to experience anything worse. That's because you've been, like, I'm bitter. I've been through a few things, okay? And it doesn't mean I'm going to look at a 9-year-old child and be like, you're going to see worse, like, suck it up. You know what I mean? Like, cry, that is the end of the world to her.
That is a huge trauma to her.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be like a standout memory to her. And if you just brush it off and do nothing, she's gonna be like, okay, no one's standing up for me. You know what I mean? It's gonna like affect her growing older.
And that is alright for her to be bullied.
Most people agree like that person is not. They're like, take the child to an MRI, keep track of medical bills, and make sure that that kid's parents pays for it. This one comment said, suppose that boy kicked a hypothetical toddler in the head, or maybe a dog or a cat. Of course he knows he did wrong. And that's true. Like, if he's just kicking people willy-nilly, he could kick someone younger that may not be, like, fully developed and protected, and it could have been worse. So, anyways, food is ready.
Be careful when you open it.
Ta-da! Can't really see it. It's okay. But it looks delicious. I'm gonna mix in sauce that I put on top. Ugh. Nothing like cozy noodles at midnight. It's not good for my like stomach or digestive system because I did get a test and I did have like an infection or something. I don't know what happened. I had to do, I don't know, like a gastric test. I don't know. Is it old age? Is it me just eating bad? I don't know. But
did you have a little more sensitive stomach?
But look at this. I tied up my hair to get ready to eat.
Yeah, I might be crying because I ate this one before.
Yeah.
Even though it's tomato, it's spicy. I didn't put all the spice packet in.
There might be sounds, but
those are the best sounds, you know?
Yeah. Nice and warm. Also, I didn't mention, I'm filming this during an Atlanta snow day, and if anyone knows anything about Atlanta and snow, it's like the whole city is shut down. It's shut down. There's no one out there. No one's driving. For this series, I won't be like eating every time because I'm older now, so I can't be eating at midnight all the time. But I will be doing crafts or something like that. As I get older too, I think I realize I might have I might have some conditions that I'm not aware of. But never diagnosed because I grew up in an Asian family. We don't believe in healthcare.
We don't believe in Western healthcare.
So I'm starting my healthcare, or I started my healthcare at 30 years old. I finally went to the doctor and they're like, why are you here? And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about my conditions or what I should watch and like da-da-da. So just do the whole shebang on me and let me know what I need to do. Well, let's go on to the next story. I'll read. This one's a little long. It's from the Am I the Bad Apple thread or forum. What is it called? I don't know. r/Am I the Bad Apple. So let me start off by saying that my older sister and I had a very tumultuous, I can't talk. Tumultuous. There we go. Had a very tumultuous relationship over the years. My sister had issues during her birth and the doctor had to use forceps on her. She also, oh wait, I'm so sorry. I did not read the title. This is what reeled me in. It's always the title, right? So, am I the bad apple because I don't feel guilty for my sister's passing? Cut back to the story. She also choked on blood during the birth, and the doctors think that it may have affected her oxygen and maybe caused some minor brain damage. Growing up, she had learning disabilities. She was nearly held back a year. She was also taller than everyone throughout her stint in school and ended up being 6'1", tall and gangly. On top of that, she had foot problems. Her bones grew twisted in her legs, giving her a limp, and she wore thick glasses for most of her life. I bring this up because she used to get teased a lot. And I used to get some of it as well because I was her brother. So she started to develop coping mechanisms. She would come up with elaborate stories and learn to tell them so well you couldn't help but believe it. She had my family believing she had met a couple on a honeymoon when I let her go with me for the car ride on a day trip to the local ski resort. She said the bride had broken her leg, the husband went off to ski while the bride was on the deck, having a drink. Upon questioning my sister further on how she found out all of this, it came out that there was no broken leg. There wasn't even a couple fitting that description because they never existed. It was a story she made up. As she got older, she started stealing from us. I woke up one morning to find her going through my pants to find my wallet, and $40 I had in my wallet was missing. She stole my mom's ATM card and was withdrawing money from her account. But the biggest ones was when she was fired from SeaWorld and charges were first of all, how do we know this is in Florida? Sorry, I digress. She was fired from SeaWorld and charges were pressed on her when she'd stolen $2,000 out of the till at the restaurant where she worked and then forged a check in my dad's name for $888. Is she also Asian? Is she Chinese? Because 888? Anyways. Sorry, squirrel. There's a little squirrel in here somewhere, sometimes. Anyways, these deaths were the last straw for my parents, and they sought help for her. My sister was nearly 30 at the time. She told a psychiatrist that she felt suicidal and wanted to murder my father so that she could have a stay in the psych ward. After that, my parents wanted distance from her. Rather than trying to go back to work or try to find a place to live, she chose to go out on the streets. We would get bills here and there that she would have mailed to my parents' house and expected us to pay. She would call us up and try to get us to send her money or pretend she'd gotten married or had a child, none of which had ever happened in any of the country records we could ever find. Last October, someone tried to reach out to me through a public Facebook post saying my sister was dying and to please contact them. Being that we thought my sister was a scam artist and had made her way from San Diego to Arizona to Wisconsin to Connecticut and finally to a hospital in Far Rockaway, New York, where she'd had a heart attack and was brain dead. I mean, maybe it was in California. Is there a SeaWorld in California? I digress. If it's California, it's more likely it's an Asian. I shouldn't be saying these things. I might always get canceled. I haven't even gotten started. Anyways, my mother and I, as next of kin, pulled the plug and had her cremated. But when I mentioned it to friends, they told me I had to forgive her for all of this and that I should feel remorse and not harbor anger towards her, and most of all, I should forgive her for the things she did. And that brings me to the question of, am I the bad apple? I don't feel like I can forgive her, even though it's been 15 plus years since I last saw her and she passed away. I was more worried that my sister would pop up after my mom's death and contest the will that my mom has, just because she might have thought she was owed something. Am I the bad apple for feeling relief that she's gone and won't cause me frustration and pain later? Am I the bad apple for not wanting to forgive her for threatening to kill my father, even if we, as a family, knew it was an empty threat? And am I the bad apple for not feeling remorse over her passing? Good question. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm fairly detached, and for me, toxic is toxic. Doesn't matter about if they're related by blood or by coincidence or whatever. If it's a toxic person, you just gotta cut that person out of your life. Life is short. You know, you don't know if you have tomorrow.
Precisely. And I think he was feeling guilty because his friends around him. No matter what, I told you in life, first of all, life is short. I've always said that. Even though you guys are family related by blood, it's supposed to be what family's supposed to be thicker.
But some family members are the most toxic people and that like drag you down the most.
Correct. Because your life, you have to surround yourself with people who enhances and better your life, not add complications and chaos and hatred. Because at the end of it, the reason why he feels this way is what she did as he was growing up.
Yeah. I definitely hold on to some anger too. And say what you will about like stereotypical women. But there are things that people did to me that I'm like, I'm not gonna forgive and I'm not gonna forget, but I will completely forget you from my life, if that makes sense. Like, I don't understand why a lot of people say, like, you know, you forgive, like this one comment would say, forgiving her would be for you, not her. Letting go of the anger would be good for you. It takes time, but she was gone now and is no longer causing problems. She will not be back to cause any problems. Putting all of that behind you and moving on is all you can do. Try to let go of that anger. She sounds like a very troubled, manipulative person. She's at peace now. You can let it go now.
Why does he have to let it go?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he shouldn't let, I mean, if it's like anger and it's affecting his everyday life, well, okay, I don't think he needs to forgive, but he can just let it go. Like, just move on, live with his life. Like, just live his life, basically. You have to be responsible for someone. Like, life's already hard as it is to live for you, you know what I mean? And then you have to be responsible for someone else's actions, or like, it seems like instead of anger, he also had fear. Because she's manipulative and like always coming back and like da-da-da. So yeah, I don't think he's the bad apple for sure. Does he have to forgive? I don't know. A lot of people say, you know, like a weight is lifted off your shoulder when you forgive because you do it for yourself. But I have never once forgiven someone and felt better. Maybe I just hold on to grudges. Like, even, maybe I just have never actually forgiven anyone. But I just know that's what they did. I can't change anything. It's already happened. So I just kind of move forward with my life and just live my life the best I can. And 10 times out of 10 doesn't include that person that hurt me. I know I didn't have to forgive. I didn't have to forget. I just moved on from it. I'm just like, I will never let another person that's like this near me.
But also, what is there to forgive? They didn't ever apologize.
That's true.
Are you saying you're forgiving yourself for being mad at them?
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
We're all human beings. We should have feelings, and that's completely fine.
Now, if it affects your everyday life and you can't move on from it, then that's a different story. You got to work on that trauma. Like, everyone has trauma. Everyone has things they need to work on. But this one doesn't seem like that. He's not a bad apple.
This person said, blood does not equal family. I agree with you, wine 0560. Not the bad apple. You can feel however you do, and you don't need to explain that to anyone. You grieved the loss of your sister a long, long time ago, which is true, because after a while, like, she was no longer your sister, you know, in the whole familial sense. I'm sorry you're going through this, though. Much love, and don't let other people's opinions make you feel like you need to feel or do anything. Keep on keeping on, just like you have been. And OP responded, that's just it. I probably won't forgive her. She said and did terrible things, but there's also an odd relief that I don't have to stress about where she is or that she's going to come back and cause problems now because she's gone. And I keep thinking I'm bad for feeling that, but there's also this weird feeling like I should feel terrible that my sister's passed, but yet I feel more sadness over celebrity deaths. I mean, Aaliyah, I felt something. People I never had friendship / relationship with other than my own sister. There's just emptiness, I guess, over her passing. And that's completely fine. Like, she wasn't in your life. She made your life worse. So, of course, you're going to be relieved. And you're fine. You're
so
not,
the verdict?
Not the bad apple. We have another story from the same thread, Am I the Bad Apple? And this one is for exposing family secrets.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everyone has secrets.
Sorry, I have to get bites in. It's still warm, it's still hot because like the self-heating down there, like it still emits the heat or something like that. Like, this is why I love the self-heating. It's the sodium levels, like, up the roof. Sure. But we don't look at that. Just drink water. I have water right here. I also have tea. So, you know, that's helping. That's helping.
I was like, what is that smell? I don't really like that smell. The candle.
I, 15 male, have an uncle who loves to brink and joke. We literally just talked about this, but we'll save it to the end. Even if you tell him to stop, but he never stops. This Christmas, I was over there, and all of a sudden, everyone was giving me dirty looks and icy glares. Apparently, my uncle, period, people, icy glares, period. Apparently, comma, my uncle joked that I had stolen $200 from his wallet, which is a lie. I didn't do it, and my parents dealt with it and confirmed it was a joke. A lot of people apologized to me, but some people didn't believe them. But it came crashing down after dinner, and my uncle was just joking around and joking around and roasting people, even though everyone told him to stop. But then he saw me and said, "At least I don't look like a deformed gorilla." And I snapped back. At least I didn't have an affair. Context: my uncle had a 5-month affair with someone, and my family covered it up on our family group chat and never told my aunt to keep the peace. I have thoughts about that also. Everyone looked shocked, and my aunt told me to give her proof, so I gave her the messages, and she left, and she's now not talking to anyone. Now, everyone says I took it too far, and he was just kidding around, and some relatives are considering cutting me off while some are giving me the silent treatment, but my parents are 100% siding with me and have been defending me, but now I'm wondering, am I the bad apple for exposing family secrets? We have to break this down. The whole pranking and joking thing, I never understood, especially if it's at the expense of someone else's feelings, because it's not funny.
But also, this pranking isn't a prank. This is them having malice thoughts and then saying, "Oh, it's a prank." It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Stop grouping things in like it's a prank. I'm so tired of watching stuff, even in social media, hurting someone's feeling and then start laughing and say, "Oh, it's a prank." Like,
it's not a joke. There's someone in the room that's absolutely not laughing. And those kind of pranks and jokes, like, you only think it's funny when at someone else's expense. When it's happening to you, it's not funny to you.
I mean, that one other prank where that lady was like, "Oh, I bought $90,000 luxury bag."
Okay, yeah, I did see on social media. I forgot her username, but she was like kind of pranking her husband, aka just trying to see his reaction. And it just showed me that, like, I need to do better in life. But anyways, she bought like the the Workin, if you know, you know. She bought the Workin and another kind of dupe, I guess, of an Hermes bag. And she was like crying, and she was just like, "Oh, I think I made a mistake." She was like, "It was $90,000. And dude chuckled. He laughed off $90,000. He was more mad when she mentioned that she had bought it like used from Walmart. He was like, "Walmart sells this?" Like, he was more mad that she had bought it from Walmart. He knew about the Hermes game too, but he was like so gentle with her, like, "Yeah, it's fine, it's last." And then she's like, "Well, this one's like $40K. And he was like, "40K, okay, that's fine." Like, where is this man for me? Like a separate, I don't want the same man. You know what I mean? But like a single man that would laugh off $90,000. Thank you. But I mean, that was funny. That wasn't a joke. He wasn't hurt. No one was hurt. I was hurt because I didn't have that in my life. But we're again squirreling again. He's just a compulsive liar.
He's not.
Yeah. Like, not a joke. He's just compulsively lying about everybody.
And his family also. Okay, so you break down that one. Okay, pranks are not funny.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is his family enables it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, they tell him not to, but yeah.
No.
But it was the affair part that they decided to hide it from the aunt. Are you effing kidding me? I have trauma over this, okay? I have family. I don't even call them family. They're just relatives. We happen to be connected in some way, who have cheated or done other things, and then there's like family members that are like trying to cover up for them, or is covering up for, or just be like, especially when I was a child, saying like, don't go into like adults' businesses and stuff, and I'm like, this is clearly wrong. You know what I mean? Like, this is clearly wrong. Like, you're enabling bad behavior, and then they cover it up for him, which is horrible. And then the fact that they're getting mad or giving him the silent treatment for revealing to the aunt that the uncle, he made his choices. The uncle made his choices. He needs to deal with the consequences. The aunt should be respected enough to make her own decision whether she wants to stay with him or not. Like, this is none of your business. And why are you mad at her knowing the truth? Like, that's not even your relationship, okay? So that should have been revealed months ago, not covered up ever.
But also the aunt has her leaving that talk to Ithaca, which is her right, because obviously everyone in that family lied.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't trust anyone in that family.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? In that family, there's going to be other affairs. Now you can't trust each other because everyone covers it up.
I think it's great that the parents are standing up for him.
I mean, I'm about to say that's a good silver lining there, is that the parents are standing up for him. At least he has someone.
Yeah.
And for real, he doesn't need any of those family members. Because guess what? They're going to lie to you
They're
too.
snakes. Like, clearly they're okay with, like, the uncle acting the way he is. There's a reason why he's never changed. It probably started as a kid. No one called him out on it, and then he continues as an adult. Connecting all the stories. Okay, so as a kid, you should be facing consequences, so you know not to do things. This person said, not the bad apple. And tell any who complain, I was kidding and I learned how to kid from old Uncle Dickface there. Yep, pretty much this. One person did make a good point. He said, you hurt your aunt in front of a crowd, which added embarrassment to the injury your uncle gave her. Grow up. Like, why? Grow up. Like, why are people... Names? Are you kidding me? Anyways, this is why I keep my circle fairly small. Now I'm gonna be reading a lot from Am I Overreacting? But today this will be our final story. I think 4, maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more.
We'll see.
This one's Am I Overreacting? Would I be overreacting if I sent this in response to my grandmother's texts? For context, I have not spoken to my father in 5 years after being abused throughout my childhood, and I have already expressed my boundaries on multiple occasions to no avail. And this one I actually already did read, so I'm just reading it out so that we can kind of discuss it because it's been kind of weighing on my mind. So this is what Grandma said. You have no idea how much you are missed at our little family celebrations. My heart aches for you and your father to reconcile, talk over whatever is so horrible that you choose not to forgive and forget. You and Redacted, which is sister, should have helped him move. He has symptoms of hernia by doing everything by himself. He will never stop being your father no matter what. I thought with time you would be a part of our family again and have been very patiently waiting for the past 5 years for this. Please rethink your decision to cut him out of your life because it affects all of us. His response that he wants to send her is written in Word, and I'll do a screenshot here, but it's basically like an essay. Clearly, this had been a decision that I have made lightly. I have expressed to you before my reasons for not wanting a relationship with him. If you need me to repeat, he physically, verbally, and psychologically abused me to a point where I felt my options were to remove myself from a relationship with him or a relationship with life itself. I do not wish to have contact with anyone who believes it is right to hit a helpless child or kick. I was 6 years old and it was a drop kick specifically if you want the visual. Or slap or throw things at or threaten to beat up or destroy personal property or terrorize or chase or yell at until they feel the world collapsing, belittled, picked on, compared to unrealistic standards, demonize others, and so on and so forth. Furthermore, I have already had to endure years of abuse and know that willingly putting myself in that situation will only lead to a worsening of my mental health. Even 5 years removed from a relationship with him, I still find myself suffering from the effects he has had on me. I see no benefits in having any sort of contact with him or attempting to reconcile anytime in the near future. I hope that you can see that I am not trying to not be part of the family, but rather have had to make this decision to ensure my own safety and sanity. If you cannot choose to accept the decision I have made, that is okay, but know that the difficulties in our relationship, on my side at least, have stemmed from me not feeling supported and heard when I have expressed these opinions. It is hurtful to me that you do not acknowledge the pain he has inflicted upon me and the trauma I have had to endure that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I hope you can try to put yourself in my shoes and understand that this has not been a one-off decision that I have remained stubborn about. Rather, I feel as if I hadn't made this decision when I did, you would not be able to know a living grandson. Please rethink your decision to attempt to guilt trip me into submission and try to learn to respect my boundaries.
First of all, that grandma doesn't care. I don't know if he still has a relationship with his sister, but obviously she's been abused too in that same situation.
I think, not like right now, but when I read this, before I did scroll, OP did respond or something. I believe the sister is also no contact.
Okay. Well, as a child, it's true. He's helpless. He probably told his family members and no one did anything because, again, your family, it's okay. And mostly because you're a child, that it's okay for a father to beat you up. Second of all, that family didn't believe him, didn't harbor a good formative years when he was younger, a good experience. Therefore, he's not going to reciprocate and feel safe in the environment that I just saw your eyes. You did something.
I was chewing and somehow liquid like
Oh no,
pushed
not
out.
on your laptop.
no, it was just on the table.
But anyway, he's not going to feel safe in that family, quote unquote. And mostly now when she's saying, I'm heartbroken because you choose to leave. That
To not be a part of the family.
That is not a whim of a moment saying no contact. I'm going to leave him. I'm going to leave the family. He left the whole family because the family let him down. Because it's the father who let him down, but guess what? It's the bigger deal. The whole family also let him down.
Yeah. No one protected him. I mean, again, it's in life. You have to protect yourself. One person comment, not overreacting, but in abusive family systems, honestly, replying makes no sense in my experience. When you keep doing it, you keep being in their stupid game. They'll keep pushing you to forgive and forget. Best to not reply at all and stop talking with grandma too if possible. She doesn't give a about what you're feeling.
In his letter, he's too polite to the grandma and said that let him beat you up, do all that stuff, and then you come back and say it's fine.
Again, with kids in formative years, it changes you as a person. Again, formative years, you're forming yourself as a human being.
And I never understand why. I mean, first of all, I don't get along. I don't know how to. This is why I don't have kids. Okay, I have dogs. But us even growing up with trauma, right? Why do you think kids, you can laugh at them, you can make fun of them, you can do all this stuff, do all these pranks on them that is funny? And I'm like, you know that you grow up and they learn from that, right? It doesn't matter that you think is funny as an adult.
It took me a while to even build my own confidence to like just to speak up, because even as a child, when I would like say things or like whatever, again, as I mentioned, like when you are a kid, sometimes something that seems not the end of the world is the end of the world to the child. But then like I would be laughed at for it. So it just taught me like not to emote, not to be emotional, not to like talk to people, not to tell people my feelings, or not to talk at all. And it took a little bit of like just rebuilding myself as a human being for me to even be as open and like kind of the way I am now. So there's a lot of things with the grandma I don't understand. It's like, it's for you and your father to reconcile. Well, ma'am, it's like talk over whatever is so horrible that you chose not to forgive and forget. I'm like, ma'am, did you not know that he was abusing me? Like, you were okay with that? You didn't view that as abuse? Some adults don't view certain things as abuse because they think kids are just like property. You'd have done that. He has symptoms of hernia. Well, ma'am, I have symptoms of like wanting to remove myself from this world. Like, I don't, whatever. He could have hired help. It's fine. I've been patiently waiting for 5 years. You haven't done anything. So rethink your decision to cut him out of your life because it affects all of us. No, it doesn't. Like you could still have a relationship with him without the father being around, because you should know and respect what the father did. You know what I'm saying? Not respecting what the father did, but like respect the child's decision based on what the father did. But I don't know, this just rubbed me the wrong way. And it's the same, I always say like family isn't blood. It's not, I mean, Family could be blood, but blood isn't like the end all be all. You make your own family. And the fact that your grandma has been waiting patiently because she just views it as nothing, like she doesn't respect or love you or see you as a human being with living emotions either. And like you really don't need a relationship with her either. I don't think you should write a novel because clearly for the years that he has been abusing you, she turned the other cheek. She's not going to read this either. One person comment, they said, I can hear it already, but he has changed. The past is in the past now. Why can't you just not move past this for your family? So yeah, OP, send it if it makes you feel better. I am betting 99.9% that it will not make one bit of difference. I had to cut the contact with the flying monkeys too. I tried so many times to try to get them to even consider the situation from my perspective. They never cared how I felt. Was a complete waste of my time, energy, and mental health. Do what you have to do for your own well-being. Sometimes we have to find our families outside of biology/genetics. Not overreacting. Edit 2. I will say that sending the email did work one time for me, but it was only my second attempt. Many will never be willing to listen or try to stop and really look at something from the other perspective. That is why I say send it if it will make you feel better. Do not if it will be another emotional letdown when she still does not see your side. So yeah, I mean, I guess you can send it to try to put your point across, but it's been years. Someone said, look up Darvo. It's best not to respond because that just leaves you open to their argument to get you to do what they want you to do. Your response is very well laid out and thought out, and I will literally bet $1 million that the response you will get will be, nuh-uh, all those things you said never happened. Or you would get called a liar, or you would be told, that was so long ago, can't you just let it go already? You are not going to get the response you want. You will not get understood. You aren't doing what they want you to do, and that is the only thing that matters to grandma. Which, you know, facts. True. Serene Brown Mouse 144. Spitting facts. Oh yeah, and then some people say, that's just how we were told to parent then, or he has changed and you should forgive the past and you will miss them when they're gone. No, they're not. Yeah, grandma's an arc. Sounds like an arc. It just circles all back. This is why we're talking about like family or relationship. Like family is, you make your own family. It doesn't have to be defined by blood. Sure. You do not have to forgive and forget. You just live your life. Life, again, how many times I have to say this to people? Life is short. You don't know if you're gonna have it tomorrow. You do not need to deal with. As a caveat, like, do what you want and live your life, but like, don't do anything illegal, immoral. Don't, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. Don't be unethical, but like live your life. Do what you want to do. Surround with people that actually adds to your life and show up for you the way you would them. And I mean, if you're an asshole, like you can be surrounded by assholes. That's fine. I mean, I've been eating this whole time too. There's been like chewing noises. I'm sorry if that's not something you like. And if it is something you like and subscribe. I can't wink. Was that a wink? Did I do it? See, I have to smile already because then my eyes go small and then I can.